Good afternoon and welcome to NHADEC's Lunchtime Connections. The purpose of this webinar is to introduce NHADEC members to one another and give each one the opportunity to tell us a little bit about their business and their capabilities. My name is Stephanie McLaughlin and I will be your host today. I'm the principal of Savoir-Faire Marketing Communications, a NHADEC member, and a member of NHADEC's Marketing Committee. The format of today's webinar will be as follows. We have 3 presentations. Each presenter will have approximately 8 minutes to talk about their company. At the end of each presentation, there'll be a little bit of time for Q&A. You can either ask a question of the presenter directly or type your question into the chat panel and I will pose it to them. To ask a question of the presenter directly, please raise your hand using the software interface and I'll call on you. I will be monitoring time and keeping us on track. I may close Q&A if we're running long. And please feel free also to raise your hand or use the chat pane in the software panel if you have any questions for me during the webinar. All right, before we start, one last housekeeping item. As this is lunchtime and I anticipate some of you might be eating lunch during the broadcast, I ask you to please put yourself on mute. All right, moving on to our first presenter. Joining us today is Sam Young, the Marketing Manager of Milpower Source. Hi Sam, how are you?
I'm well. I hope you're well. Hope everybody listening is having a great day.
Absolutely. Love to have you tell us a little bit more about Milpower Source today.
Well, that would be great. I'm going to walk through 3 primary points. One is an overview of the company, a little bit of the product technology with respect to really what our business is based on, and then cover some points where we potentially could work with other NHADEC members in a partnership fashion, just kind of the primary reasons why we're members of NHADEC. So if you would kindly go to the next slide, please. So Milpower Source has been in business for 40 years. We're located in Belmont, New Hampshire, which is close to Laconia, if you're not familiar with us. The company was founded in Belmont, continues to be in Belmont, but we have a global footprint, which I'll get into in a little bit. Our primary business really is power supplies. So if you're familiar with power supplies, power conversion for your laptop, it's essentially the same concept, but our units go into very sophisticated military vehicles, military planes, ships, naval applications, and I'll show you a little bit more about that on the next slide. Our customer base includes direct sales to the various divisions of the military and prime contractors as well. Really prime contractors such as BAE Systems, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and on are our primary customers. With respect to applications, you see on the screen a number of programs that we have components in. We are part of the overall supply chain for these very sophisticated military applications. I'll mention a couple that people may be more familiar with. The Patriot program, for example. The USS Manchester, which was christened in Portsmouth recently. We have products on that naval platform, the Apache program, Predator drones. Very few commercial applications, but if you've ever flown on a 737, our power supply is the unit that actually helps start the engine. So if you've ever flown on a 737, we're on that plane with you. But really the vast majority of our business is focused on the defense industry, as you see represented on the screen. If you go to the next slide, please. So what makes us different with respect to power supply manufacturing? Our hallmark is that we are capable and really focus on customized solutions. We definitely have off-the-shelf solutions, but the vast majority of our business and our relationships with customers involve starting at the design process, determining the specific needs of the application, and designing a power supply that truly fits that application as opposed to trying to wedge in an off-the-shelf unit. And that's why customers continue to work with us year after year, is we are part of their design and development process and not simply a product supplier, is really how we look at our business. So customizable, configurable, really a key element of our business model. As I mentioned, we are a defense contractor, so everything is certainly qualified to the military standards. AS 9100 and ISO 9001 certified, all of the elements that you need to satisfy the defense marketplace with a product of this nature. So that's a little bit of history with respect to the company, quick run through of our product set. Now I'd like to just, if I could, move to the next slide and chat a little bit on areas where we've worked with other companies, areas where other NHADEC members might want to be introduced in conversations where we could work with them. And this screen is representative of a common relationship that we have with companies. As I said, we do sell to prime contractors in the military directly. This is more of an example of working with a prime contractor or an integrator, if you will. So on the left side represents the products that we bring to the table. EMI filters, hold-up units, VPX power supplies. At the end of the day, they're all power conversion products, taking some form of power and converting it into another capability for that application. The right side is the type of relationship that we have with many of our partners. They offer additional products and services that take our units, they will integrate them into it, and then it ultimately ends up in one of those sophisticated applications that I've mentioned before. This is just representative of an enclosure and the type of relationship that we have, but oftentimes our units go into different packages. They're integrated into a full assembly that ends up on an application. So if you're listening to this and trying to figure out, Milpower source, where do they fit in, this is a common type of relationship that we have with customers, and certainly open to those with other NHADEC members. Another way is mentioned on the next slide, if you would, please. So we do actually have a global footprint. We operate in the United States under the brand name Milpower Source. Throughout other areas of the world, we operate under the brand Enercon Technology, and MPS, and physically located in Europe, Israel, and India. And for offset opportunities, we work with a number of companies in this regard. We're able to offer those services and support your business if you have international needs through the offset model that many defense companies take advantage of. So I'll mention that as another way that we could potentially work with NHADEC members, and would be happy to have those conversations. Not on any of these slides, but I will certainly mention this also. We do work with a number of local manufacturers, be it for machining or board assembly, any type of work that potentially might fit with our business model. We love to work with local companies, and would be very happy to have conversations with any NHADEC members that are interested in those topics as well. So that's a quick overview of Milpower Source, the company located in Belmont, New Hampshire. We like to say the best power supply company that many people haven't heard of. We're working on changing that. And a little history on the products and the ways we'd be very happy to have conversations to potentially work with other NHADEC members. So hopefully that was a benefit to you. Thank you, Stephanie. I'll hand the reins back to you.
Thanks, Sam. That was great. Hey, I have a question, and I'm not sure if this is a little out of left field, but power supplies seems to me to be one of the more stead industries. How do you guys innovate, or what's the sort of evolution or innovation or R&D process for you guys?
Well, you're spot on with that characterization. It is a product set that doesn't necessarily evolve consistently, because when you've got a proven design, as we do, we have a catalog of thousands of products that are proven designs. You go with that because you want to ensure consistent performance and military qualifications. But advances are always necessary, so we do have an R&D team. We have an extensive product roadmap. We're looking out a minimum of 5 years, more often 10 years, to be in match, if you will, with other applications, military applications, in the direction that the defense industry overall is going. So we've recently, as a matter of fact, launched a couple of new product families, MilVPX, obviously Milpower, MilVPX, and MilPDU. Those are a couple of new product families that we've enhanced capabilities on. And candidly, we like to think that they are the best in the industry based on our newer technology and some of the innovative features that we've launched into those product sets. So great question. Thank you.
Fantastic, Sam. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Thanks so much to all our presenters, as well as our audience and attendees. I sincerely appreciate your time and attention. If you would like to refer to this presentation or share it with someone you think would be interested, The video of today's episode will be posted on YouTube and on the NHADEC blog. And if you were an attendee today and you're interested in being a presenter in an upcoming episode, please send me an email. Thanks so much, and we now return you to your regularly scheduled programs.
Thank you. Please stand by.